friends, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to my channel, Sunset Bow Tarot. So today I wanted to do a response to a tag that was started by Inspired Alien Creations, which is the Tarot Tube tag. So it's a series of questions about being on TarotTube and what you like about it and why you're here. So I thought that would be a lot of fun. I've seen some great responses to this one. So let's get started. So the first question is, what made you start tarot tubing? And the answer to that one is pretty basic. I wanted to talk to other people about tarot. Specifically, I wanted to talk about like decks. I wanted to talk about the specifics of imagery. I wanted to talk about what I saw in things and, you know, sort of have a discussion with other people about like what kinds of symbolism we saw in things, how we interpreted things, and stuff like that. And I've kind of gotten away from those like long sort of really in-depth walkthroughs that I was kind of doing at first in my channel. Like my first couple of videos were seriously like hour-long walkthroughs of decks where I talked about each card in detail, which, you know, not everybody likes to see those. So, but you know, wanting to do that kind of thing was why I really started tarot tubing. It took me a long time to actually show my face on camera or talk about anything other than cards. So, you know, I finally gradually gotten more comfortable with doing other kinds of things on my channel, but the reason why I started was to really like talk about symbols and talk about interpretations and talk about how I saw things and learn from other people how they saw things. So, so that's why I started. The next question is, what's the tarot scene like in your area? And to be honest, I haven't really looked into it. I'm very introverted, so I don't, you know, tend to like go to gatherings with strangers so much and get together with people. All of my friends and family for the most part know that I read tarot. They like getting readings from me. You know, it's something that I definitely talk to other people about in terms of my interest at sort of a very high level. But you know, in terms of getting into the nitty-gritty, I kind of go online for that kind of thing. So, and talk to other tarot readers online, which really works well for me, actually. It just is a way of relating to people and communicating with people that really works for me. So I really like being part of the tarot online community. Next question is, name an overrated deck and an underrated deck. I don't want to talk about it in terms of overrated and underrated just because that implies a level of judgment on the deck. You know, it implies, like if I say a deck is overrated, it means that, you know, other people like it more than they should, and I don't think about it that way really. But in terms of a deck that a lot of people really love that I don't personally resonate with, a good example of that would be the Wild Unknown. That is a deck that you know, you see everywhere and it's super popular, and I've never really been able to connect to it. I had it for a while and then I actually gave it away in a giveaway because I just couldn't resonate with it. In terms of an underrated deck, again, here what I'm going to be talking about is a deck that I really love that I just don't see around very much. And I think a really underrated deck is the Lion's Gateway Tarot by Jessica Henry. That's a wonderful deck. It's beautiful. The artwork is really amazing. It's super high quality. It was a Kickstarter that just didn't get very much attention, and I really feel like it deserved more attention because it's really beautiful, and I feel like once people get clued into this deck, they really like it. So I actually did a giveaway for this deck on my channel because I love it that much, and I think that it's a deck that should be more widely known. So that's one that I really love. The next question is tarot in one word. And I think for me, tarot in one word would be like clarity. You know, I find that it brings clarity to things. I find that it helps me understand things. I find that it helps me sort of cut through emotional fog surrounding situations sometimes and really see things that I was trying not to see or maybe didn't want to see. So I find it really helpful in that respect. It brings me a lot of clarity. So I think that that's probably, I also love the word clarity. It's one of my favorite words. So we'll go with that one. Number 5 is name 3 small YouTube channels. So I actually, I'm just going to direct you to some of my other videos because I have been making it a habit in like my monthly wrap-up videos to give shout outs to some smaller channels in every single one of those. So I've I have lots of small tarot channels that I really love and have mentioned before. So I'll just kind of point you in the direction of my monthly wrap-ups, because at the end, you just go right to the end, because there's always some shout-outs at the end. Next question is, what is your favorite type of tarot video on YouTube? I really like walkthroughs. You know, a lot of the way that I use TarotTube is to really check out decks before I buy them. So I do really like those. I like when people do those. I know that there's some criticism that sometimes flies around about people doing those, and I like to see them. I love actually doing tags too. Another thing that people criticize, but I think tags are really fun. It's a way to kind of bring the community together and sort of see how different people's opinions differ on the same questions, and I really enjoy doing them, and I really enjoy watching them. I tend to find that when there's a tag going around, I'll like go and watch all the responses, you know, and just it helps me discover channels that I haven't heard of before. So I really enjoy those. But I do have to say, my absolute #1 favorite type of TarotTube video is deck collection videos. I love deck collection videos. I find them so relaxing. I have deck collection videos that I've watched multiple times. If you have a lovely voice and you do a deck collection video, it's like ASMR to me. Like, I can fall asleep to it if I find it so relaxing. So probably my all-time #1 favorite kind of TarotTube video is a deck collection video. Next question is, what would you A, think, B, say, C, do if suddenly you woke up one morning and tarot didn't exist? That's an odd question. I don't know. You know how that movie came out recently where all of a sudden a guy wakes up one morning and the Beatles don't exist? I haven't actually seen it. I'm getting this completely from the previews, but apparently the premise of this movie was a guy wakes up one morning and the Beatles didn't exist. So he basically makes a name for himself as the writer and performer of all of these songs that he didn't really write and perform because they're actually Beatles songs. So maybe I would just like pretend to reinvent tarot and like become famous that way. I don't know. That's a ridiculous answer. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'd just be sad, I think. I'm assuming that this is a situation where, like, I'm the only one who knew tarot ever existed and nobody else did. Or maybe it's just a situation where all of a sudden all of the tarot decks are, you know, like, spontaneously combust or something and there aren't any left in the world or something. I don't know. But either way, I'd be very, very sad, and I'd try to find some way to bring it back into the world. That's the only thing I can think of. Next question is, do you use tarot apps? I do use tarot apps, but only really for the books. I have the Dark Goddess app, which I use because it has the full text of the book, which isn't available in a hard copy anymore. Same thing with the Bohemian Gothic app. I had that for a long time. The book is now actually out. It's been shipped to me. It's on its way to me because Baba Studio reprinted the deck, or excuse me, reprinted the book for the Bohemian Gothic deck. So, but I did have that app as well for a long time, just so that I could refer to it for the book. I also have the Shadowscapes app because it's a deck that I was thinking that I was maybe interested in, and I wanted to check it out before I bought it, and I haven't ended up buying the deck because I just looked at the app and I knew that I would have a really hard time seeing those cards actually like on a paper card. But in terms of actually using apps to do readings, I don't use them to do readings. The physical experience of like shuffling cards is important to me. Like, I don't know, I really enjoy shuffling. I enjoy handling decks of cards. Like, there's something about that tactile experience that is a big part of what I enjoy about tarot. So I don't like to use apps for readings. I know other people do. I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. Like, I don't think that you can't get a real reading from an app or anything like that, but I personally prefer to use cards. So the next question is, what's your favorite thing about the tarot online community? And I have to say, on the whole, my favorite thing is kindness. I've found people to be very kind and welcoming in this community. I will say that obviously all communities have their problems, and there have definitely been times when there's been some nastiness flying around in this community like any other community. But on the whole, of any online community I've been in, and I've been in several over the course of my life, been very involved in several different online communities, and the tarot community has been the nicest one, just in terms of people being kind and welcoming, especially to new people. So I'd say that that's that's my favorite thing. You know, I don't want to look at it through rose-colored glasses or anything, but just honestly, when I compare it to other experiences that I've had in online communities, the tarot community has been the nicest one. Next question is video ideas, and to be perfectly honest, you guys, I don't have a ton of really good video ideas. You know, there are some more videos that I'd like to do in terms of talking about the ways that I interpret certain cards, because, you know, you always tend to interpret different cards based on your own personal experiences and based on how you've had those cards come up in readings and sort of the intuitive connections that you've made between those cards and situations that you've had happening to you. And so there's always, I feel, things that different people see in cards that are unique to them. And I always like hearing about that. I always like hearing unique things about the way that certain people interpret cards that might be different from the way that other people interpret them, just based on their own personal experiences and personal resonances and personal intuitive insights into the cards. And so so I think that is a thing that I would like to see more of in general in the community. Aside from that, I don't have a ton of good ideas. If you guys have good ideas for types of videos you'd like to see, I'd love to hear them, because, you know, I always find that interesting, and it's always something to kind of consider if there's something that people are interested in seeing that I haven't done yet. So anyway, let me know. The final question is, who do you tag? And quite frankly, I don't tag anyone because I'm probably the last person on the planet to actually do this tag. If anybody out there hasn't done it yet and would like to do it, please do it. I'd love to see what your answers are. But I can't think of anyone who I know personally who I'd like to see who hasn't done it yet. So we'll just say whoever wants to do it is who I tag. So anyway, those are my answers to the Tarot Tube tag. Thanks again to Inspiring Alien Creations. This is a fun list of questions, and thanks so much, everyone. If you do another VR to this tag, let me know. I'd love to see it, and have a great day. Bye-bye.